Can you say a little bit about you yourself being another Thai heritage basketball player? How does it feel to have the opportunity to represent this side of your heritage on the court?
Yeah, I mean, it's really special being able to get the chance to go to Thailand, get the chance to play there, play for the country my mother was raised in. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to her. It means a lot to my family. I'm really grateful for the chance to continue to get to play beyond college. And I'm excited for the chance to get there, get to know my teammates, get to meet my coaches, excited to get on the court and start playing. Being a Thai American, the other thing too is I haven't met a whole lot of Thai Americans in my years of playing basketball. I've rarely gotten the chance to meet anyone that's Thai that also plays basketball that's in the US, especially in Chicago. So I think it's a really special opportunity to be able to represent my heritage, to go to Thailand, continue playing there, be with my mom's side of the family, doing whatever I can to help whichever team I'm on win.
And a travel call.
Hello, so we're back with That's a Travel Pod. Again, a platform where we talk to people in the basketball world, whether it's players, coaches, staff, or anyone just involved with basketball in general in the Asia basketball scene that we feel has an interesting story to tell. Throughout their careers, throughout their journeys, whether it's early or late on in careers. And today we'll be talking with Max Williams, who is about to begin his career in Asia, playing in Thailand. He has an interesting journey going through playing at IMG, playing at Division One, whether it's with DePaul, whether it's Illinois, being a walk-on, earning a scholarship, being a scout team player. And those are just some of the topics that we covered through our initial talks with him. We'll probably be seeing a lot of him more throughout his career playing in Thailand, hopefully with Thailand in the future as well. So again, we hope you enjoyed another installment of That's a Travel Pod. So let's get to it. That's a Travel with Max Williams. All right, so I have started the recording. Well, first of all, glad to have you here. We're here with Max Williams, former DePaul, was it the Blue Deacons? I forgot the.
Blue Demons. Blue
Oh yeah,
Demons.
the Blue Demons. Yeah, my bad. The former DePaul Blue Demons and Illinois Fighting Illini, and potentially looking forward, hoping to see you in a Thailand national team jersey soon. But yeah, I hope I didn't steal too much of your introduction. Just go ahead. Let us know who you are, Max.
Thanks for having me. My name is Max Williams. I just graduated here from University of Illinois Champaign. I spent 3 years at DePaul University in Chicago, Illinois, as a walk-on playing for the basketball team. Transferred to Illinois for my senior year. Just wrapped up this past few weeks with school, and looking forward to flying to Thailand next week to start playing there and hop in the Thailand Open tournament and see where things go from there.
All right, awesome. So just to make things a bit easier for fans, I mean, Max is a pretty easy name to go with, but do you have any other nicknames you go with, fun monikers you go by, just for the sake of the fans to have fun when cheering for you?
Honestly, I think Max is pretty much what everyone
Yeah.
calls me. I mean, sometimes people call me Mad Max.
Okay.
Um, Sometimes, yeah, it's usually just Max. My full name is Maximus, though, so it's
Exactly.
yeah. So sometimes people call me that, but it's usually just Max.
In what's it? I mean, on the court, is there a situation where someone like calls you Maximus? Like,
No, well, it'll usually happen in practice.
okay,
Sometimes some of my coaches or teammates will mess around with me and call me Maximus because it's my full name. It's kind of a unique full name. Usually it's
yeah,
Maximilian or um,
exactly.
yeah. So, but
Um, from what I understand, you have a Thai name too, right? A Thai
well, funny enough,
middle name or
funny enough,
something.
yeah, funny enough, I was actually just talking with my mom about that. I don't think I do.
Hmm.
I know they put me down on the roster with a Thai name, but
Okay.
I don't think I actually have a Thai name.
Okay, we'll figure that out as
Yeah.
the season goes. I'm sure someone's gonna give you something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Talking about that, glad to have you brought your mom up. I mean, how much? were you aware how much was that involved in your upbringing about your Thai heritage? How much did you know about that growing up?
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I actually would go to Thailand during the summers. I used to go every summer actually, because my mom was born and raised in Pitsunulok in Thailand.
Okay.
So I went. I think my first time there, I was around 7 years old, and then I would go
Hmm.
for the next 4 or 5 summers. We'd visit her side of the family, my grandmother and grandfather, and her brothers and cousins. They had a farm out in Pitsunulok, so they grow vegetables and fruits out there, and we'd spend most of our summers out there. But then we'd also
Hmm.
go to Bangkok, of course. I've been to Phuket.
Hmm.
Um, we used to go to the temples out in
Hmm.
Thailand as well. But yeah, for the most part, I was a lot younger.
Hmm.
Um, I haven't been recently. It's been a few years. It's been a long time since I've been there.
Hmm.
Just because of how basketball has ramped up during the summers while I was in high school playing AU tournaments. I just didn't have the time to. But yeah, I used to go a lot to Thailand when I was a kid.
For sure. What's like a core memory you have from being in Thailand? Any fun stories of your childhood in Thailand that that stuck with you?
Yeah, one that actually pops up like immediately is I have well, my mom has like a little photo book of like
Hmm.
all our photos back from Thailand with like my family, but I actually got the chance to ride on one of the elephants. I know that that's really popular in Thailand, so
Yeah.
I remember getting a ride on I think it was like a baby elephant though. It obviously wasn't like one of those big elephants, but it was a baby elephant and it was I was young, so um, yeah, that was really fun. I don't know if I'll ever get the I don't know if you get the chance to do things like that here in the United States, but yeah, that was definitely a core memory.
All right. So yeah, you grew up in, I mean, you spent summers in Thailand. Obviously, you're acclimated to Thai food. Did your mom cook as well, or I mean, back in the States, did your mom cook Thai food as well? Do you eat a lot of Thai food there?
Yeah, yeah, she would make pad thai, pad
Okay.
siu. I know obviously pad thai is like one of the more popular dishes. And
Okay.
yeah, she would cook those two dishes mainly. Sometimes she would throw in some
Uh,
curry and fried rice, fried eggs. I'm not sure exactly what the dish was called, but that's what
okay.
she would make. And then there's some Thai spots here in Chicago that we like
Hmm.
to pick up food from.
So what's like your goat Thai food for you personally?
My like the spot or the dish.
Let's go with the dish. Yeah, let's go with the dish.
I'll probably say pad Thai. Like I actually just had some
Okay.
the other day. Like pad Thai
Okay.
with some Thai iced tea. Like the Thai iced tea is also really good. I have to say,
Yeah.
iced tea is
Yeah.
one of a kind for
Yeah,
sure.
we'll find some recommendations for when you hit back here in Bangkok, man.
Sounds good. Thank you. I'm looking forward
All
to it.
right. Okay, how about your Thai vocabulary? How extensive is it?
Well, that's one of the things I'm actually working on,
Mhm.
especially recently. When I was a kid, my mom would. I didn't really know Thai as a kid. I only kind of knew how to count and like the alphabet
Mhm.
and saying basic phrases. I
Mhm.
can kind of understand like conversation. Like I can pick up on some things, but I still have to expand my vocabulary as far as the Thai language for sure.
Okay. Yeah, your teammates and your coach will probably teach you a lot of good phrases.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, you went back and forth in Thailand and then you started playing basketball. Just how much of the possibility of playing for the national team did you know? When did that start coming into the back of your head, or yeah, just when did you know about the possibility of it?
Yeah, so throughout, my years in college, obviously it's kind of been a thought in the back of my mind, not necessarily playing for the national team, but
Mhm.
expanding my playing career beyond college and getting the chance
Mhm.
to play in Thailand. I didn't really know how to go about it.
Mhm.
So I just kind of had to do some digging myself online and trying to put
Mhm.
myself out there. So what I ended up doing was just researching some stuff about Thailand basketball. I was able to get in contact with some of the players, and that's how I initially was able to, start the communication process with the coaches and the Thai
Mhm.
Basketball League. So this was the year of the last summer. This was the summer of 2023 was when I
Mhm.
kind of started, reaching out to people, reaching out to players, and that's how they fortunately they were able to get back to me and put me in contact with some of the coaches. And
Mhm.
then from there, I've been talking with them since about getting the chance to go over there once I was finished with school,
Mhm.
and getting the chance to play in Thailand.
Cool. Which I mean, I don't know if you can name, but which players did you actually reach out to get through there, man?
Yeah, so I actually reached out to a good amount of that. I didn't know who was going to respond. It was kind of like a shot in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah,
I didn't know if they'd understand me either. So I reached out to I
Who?
know I know Tyler Lamb. He was the one that
Okay.
ended up responding first.
Okay.
He got me in contact with the coaches, and which was really nice
Okay.
of him. I reached
Nice.
out to him. I think China Tip,
Okay.
big man.
Nice.
Yeah, I reached out to him, and
Mhm.
then I think I also reached out to Freddie. Um,
Okay.
yeah, and then I think there was one more, but unfortunately I can't remember his name. But
Okay.
it was those guys that I had reached out to.
I mean, those are going to be the guys to contact, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get to know more of them soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, good to have you connected early on there. So yeah, let's just go back a bit to the start. How did you start playing basketball? Was it your first sport? Yeah, just when did you pick up the game?
Yeah, so soccer was actually my first sport. I started playing back in elementary school. I was very out of shape, very kind of chubby, didn't really have any coordination at all. Got
Mhm.
really tired really quick. I started playing soccer elementary school. This was back when I used to live in New York. So
Mhm.
once I had moved to Chicago at the beginning of middle school, that's when I started playing basketball.
Mhm.
That's when kind of everyone in my grade was playing basketball and was talking about basketball tryouts.
Mhm.
So then before that, I actually started playing in a kind of club league on the weekends during the fall.
Mhm.
It's called High Five here in Chicago. Well, I don't know if they still do that, but it's up at Quest Multisport in Chicago. I started playing there on the weekends, just kind of getting
Mhm.
introduced to the game and the rules. Then I tried out for my school team in middle school. Was able to play there. That's kind of how I was introduced to basketball, really. Then I started playing baseball too. So my first year in middle school, when I moved to Chicago, I was playing soccer, baseball, and basketball.
Mhm.
And after a year of doing that, obviously with puberty too, but like my body started thinning out. I started losing
Mhm.
some of the baby fat. Um, and then I started focusing on basketball more throughout middle school. So
Mhm. What was like? I mean, you're playing three sports. You're starting to, as you say, hit puberty. You're thinning out. So you probably had a choice to pick between three sports. What was it that? What was the turning point for you to choose basketball in particular to pursue seriously?
yeah, well, I started focusing on basketball the beginning of high school. So my freshman year of high school, I played soccer and baseball up until that point. But I think about basketball is kind of I began committing seriously to the sport once I started training outside of practice in school.
Uh,
I had a trainer that I would work out with on the weekdays and on the weekends just to develop my skill and improve my game. I joined an AAU team in middle school.
mhm.
So this was something I had to commit to during the spring and the summer. And then I also just found more joy with basketball. I thought it was, the funnest thing ever. And, I'm playing it every day, without a worry in the world. I'm a young kid, just,
Mhm.
shooting the ball in the hoop. So, and then baseball and soccer, I wasn't, particularly good. Um,
Mhm.
obviously at that stage I wasn't really good at basketball either. I had to kind of work at it. But yeah, it was kind of the end of middle school when I decided to commit to basketball.
Cool. So I mean, growing up in Chicago, I saw you list Derrick Rose as your favorite player. Is he still your favorite player? Are you a Bulls fan? Just go into your fandom a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Derrick Rose is definitely my favorite player. He'll probably always be my favorite player. Moving to Chicago from New York, and then that's where I first started playing basketball. Derrick Rose was like, this was the time when he was, rising up in the league. He had just won MVP,
Mhm,
and I remember one of my first memories of basketball was I was just a kid. I would go to the park, like look
mhm,
up Derrick Rose videos. I'll go with my dad and just kind of like imitate whatever I saw in those videos and just try to do on the court. I wasn't really good at it, but he was like kind of someone that really inspired me to like, okay, like I have so many memories of watching him as a kid, going to Bulls games,
mhm,
and then just trying to mimic his play style. But and obviously he's such a legend and an icon throughout the city of Chicago. He inspires so many people, especially with the adversities went through, but how he's been able to still have such a great career. So it kind of is more than basketball too with Derrick Rose. So
mhm.
but definitely
Okay.
my favorite player.
All right. So if he's your favorite player and you're a Bulls fan, can I have your like all-time Bulls starting five? Obviously locking in Derrick Rose at the one.
Yeah,
Or
starting
not. I don't
five.
know.
Starting five. I mean, I feel like every Bulls fan might have a similar answer. I would go Derrick Rose,
Yeah.
MJ, Scottie Pippen. I would have actually I would have Dennis Rodman, and
Yeah.
then I don't know why I'm blanking on this. This is bad. I can't remember if Dennis Rodman is a power forward or a center. I would probably
I
have.
mean, you can
Do you
it's
know?
interchangeable.
Yeah. Okay.
It's interchangeable.
Well, he can't really stretch the floor. I don't know. I'm thinking about Joakim too. I don't know. That might be
Oh
recency
yeah.
bias, but
Nah, man,
I'll
Joakim
definitely
is
have.
I don't know.
I'll throw on those
Personally,
five.
I like him.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Especially like everyone in Chicago loves him and the way
Yeah.
he plays so hard. But yeah, I'll probably have those five. That's
Yeah, I
fine.
mean that makes sense. All
Yeah.
right, so a good starting five here. Now, as you mentioned, you're getting into the game. You're going to the park with your dad, imitating Derrick Rose. When was it that? I mean, let's just talk about your time going to IMG. I mean, that's IMG's a pretty big basketball academy, I guess. How was it? What is the system like there actually?
Yeah, so IMG is a very complex system, like you just said. There's multiple teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think people don't really know this, but there's like you said, there's a lot of people that attend IMG across the whole world, actually. So it's an
Mm-hmm.
international boarding school in Florida. You have people coming from all across the world playing different sports.
Mm-hmm.
So for basketball, at least, there's the way I don't know how they do it now. I know it changes from year to year, but when I was there, this was probably about 6 years ago now. They
Mm-hmm.
had three JV teams. They had three varsity teams. They had the national team, which was kind of the main team that everyone was talking about with all the high
Mm-hmm.
end recruits, 4 or 5 stars. And then they have two post grad teams right above the national team. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of how they operate their school teams. And then as far as like the schedule, what they do is because I know a lot of people say that if you go to IMG you don't do school, but you would actually have a very very packed day. Like it would go from probably about
Mm-hmm.
7 a.m. to like 8 p.m. That's probably when you'd be about done with your day. But
Mm-hmm.
so what they do is depending on your grade and your team, you'd be doing school. You'd be doing either school or practice in the morning, and
Mm-hmm.
then that would interchange and switch in the afternoon. So then you either do school or practice. Let's say for me, I'm doing my classes in the morning starting at
Mm-hmm.
8 a.m. So I have 4 or 5 classes. Then we got lunch 12 to 1, and then from there you go to practice, weight lifts, and skill sessions and whatnot um, after lunch and for the rest of the afternoon. And then depending on your team and your grade, you might have study hall. Then you got to do all your homework, and so that was kind of the daily schedule back at
Hmm.
IMG. So
Okay. Um, I mean, just to be frankly speaking, you weren't like locked up as a first round pick or an NBA pick. So I mean, going through that time during high school where you were serious about basketball, but you also had to be, as you mentioned, serious in class as well. But how did you maintain that balance going through it? Yeah, just figuring
yeah,
out what to do after high school as well.
yeah. So I had to kind of put a focus on my class structure, kind of
Hmm.
stacking up on those honors and AP classes. And then I kind of, like you said about focusing on life after school and basketball, kind of putting an emphasis on the forgot what it's called, the ACT SAT testing to
Hmm.
kind of give myself the best chance of getting into a good school, because that was kind of a focus in my family, was
Hmm.
making sure outside of
Hmm.
basketball you got to make sure you go to a good school at the end of the day and get a good degree. So outside of practice, it was challenging kind of managing the two, but it definitely helped me prepare for obviously what college athletes have to experience on a day-to-day
Hmm.
basis, managing school, homework, and practice. But early on it was kind of a struggle, but I made sure I was in basically all honors and AP classes. That way I gave myself the best chance of getting into a good university. So
Hmm. Much respect, man. I know how tough it is to to balance all of that and come out with those honors and stuff.
thank you. Thank
Uh, about IMG, I mean, you said there's a lot of teams. Who are some of like the bigger names that you might have interacted with or played with or just yeah, just interacted with during your time there?
Yeah, I mean,
And
so I went there 2 years. So
mhm,
it was a lot of names.
mhm.
Some that come to mind, I played with Zach Edey
Okay.
my senior year. This was kind of like during a spring tournament. So the teams are
Mhm,
like constantly changing throughout the year too. That's the kind of different aspect about IMG. You may be on one
yeah.
team the first semester, and then with the way things are, with how many teams there are, you could end up on a different team on the second semester, and then you got different tournaments throughout the year. So you're playing with kind of all different people, and you have all different
Mhm.
teammates. So I played with Zach in a spring tournament. I played with Josh Green. Um,
Okay.
this was my senior year when I was on the national team for a bit. I was there for a semester,
Mhm.
um, just kind of practicing with them. Um, Josh Green, Jaden Springer, someone that
Okay.
was also there. Um, Also Armando Baycott, big
Okay.
man at UNC. So yeah,
UNC,
those
yeah.
are just some of the names that this is more during my senior year. So
Any fun stories you can share? I know that most of the stories are probably not
yeah, yeah,
shareable.
yeah, fun stories. I'm trying to think. This is a while ago. I haven't really thought about IMG in a minute. Okay, well, my post grad year. Oh, I forgot. I
Okay.
also played with my post grad year. I was a part of the post grad national team, and we would go out and play
Mhm.
different prep schools throughout the country.
Mhm.
So like Montverde, Hargrave Military Academy,
Mhm.
um, and I think we were ranked pretty high at
Mhm.
the time. And this was the team that I don't know if you or you probably don't, but Kenyon Martin Jr.,
Yeah.
who plays on the
Yeah,
Sixers,
yeah, yeah.
he was on that team. And one of the better memories I'd say is when we went to the national prep showcase.
Mhm.
Well, not showcase, kind of end of the year tournament, championship, end of the
Mhm.
year, where they just kind of collected all the best post grad teams in the country. And I think we had won our first game and we're advancing to the quarterfinals right before the championship game. And
Mhm.
then, interesting enough, this is right when COVID happened. So
Mhm.
that championship game unfortunately got canceled. But
Ah.
I'd say, yeah, that year was probably my favorite year at IMG, just being a part of that team and getting to contribute and
Mhm.
having the good success we had and getting a chance to play with those guys.
All right. So, wrapping up your high school career, how did you end up in DePaul, as you mentioned, as a walk on? But yeah, what was the process of selecting your spots there? How did you decide on getting there?
Yeah, so it all kind of came down. Well, when I had decided to go to DePaul, it was a very last minute thing. It was kind of
Mm-hmm.
at the very end of my recruiting process. I was kind of in the middle of deciding between D2 schools, D3
Mm-hmm.
schools. I wasn't, I didn't have a Division 1 offer coming out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I'd only been in contact with one Division 1 school. Um, and so it was kind of something I was just reaching out to people at this point. This was the end of my post grad year. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this was like right when COVID had started.
Mm-hmm.
And I was still trying to figure out where I was going to go that next year. Um, but, I was fortunate enough to know someone. His name is Tim Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
He is he was a AAU coach in the city of Chicago and a basketball trainer. He created Ground Zero training. And he's someone that I look as a mentor. Someone that I've known since a young age, since middle school, just with his training program and with him being such a big figure in Chicago. And
Mm-hmm.
fortunately, I was able to keep in contact with him throughout high school. And during this time, he had the assistant job at DePaul in Chicago, and I had just been kind of reaching out to him, showing him my film, giving him updates every now and then, even though I wasn't always getting a response. But it was kind of just something I didn't really think was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I just stayed at it. I went to a DePaul game
Mm-hmm.
during the winter, during my winter break, during my post grad year at IMG. Got the chance to say hi to the coaches, and it wasn't something that I really thought was going to pan out, like I said. But
Mm-hmm.
once it got closer to the summer, leading into that next year, um, the communication between us had kind of started to ramp up, and things started to look more serious. And
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of like it was shocking. And one day, I remember he had called me and he said, like, we have a walk on spot here for you at DePaul. And that was from there, that was probably one of the most memorable days of my life. I never thought I was going to get the chance to, play for a Division 1 team, but obviously, it was a dream that I had always had. And I'm forever grateful for Tim and everything he's helped me with and giving me that chance. But yeah, from there, started working out with some of the trainers during the summer, and then joined them for summer workouts. I think it was in August because it had
Mm-hmm.
to be pushed back because of COVID. But yeah, that's how I decided on DePaul.
Man, that's quite a journey. That's a good one, man. So getting to DePaul, getting on as a walk on, how, how was it? How was your time there? I mean, I know that being a walk on, it's not something that is told. It's not a story that's told us much, but shine us some light on what it's like being, yeah, playing in D1 there.
Yeah, so it wasn't something that I had any idea about going into it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, you know, being just a high school kid and not really knowing a whole lot about the college process.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of thought I was going to be on the team and that I wasn't going to play as much, but I was going to be like everyone else. But
Mm-hmm.
my first year at DePaul, um, being a walk on. I was kind of embraced with different challenges at the start, and it was
Mhm.
something that took a bit of time to adjust to,
Mhm.
because it kind of depends on the program and the staff that you have. But most of
Mhm.
the time, and this is something I didn't know, but I'm going into this thinking that I'm practicing, I'm doing everything, I'm doing all the drills, and then I go into my first couple months of practice, and sometimes I'll find myself on the sidelines,
Mhm.
and it's just something that takes place in Division 1 programs. There's a practice sheet. There's things you got to get done. You got to run through plays, scrimmage, do other things that you got to focus on, and there's only so much room for
Mhm.
walk-ons to get in that chance, because you got 5 players on the floor running plays, and you got 10 players scrimmaging, and you got 15 guys on the team. So
Mhm.
you know it was something I had to adjust to, but obviously I try to do my best as far as kind of learning, adjusting to that, being the best teammate I could, kind of also
Mhm.
getting that work in, and when I could outside of practice, just to make up for lost reps during practice. But um, yeah, that was kind of what you know being a walk on was like at first. But like you said,
Mhm.
going back to how DePaul was in general, DePaul, looking back, it's something that I'll always be grateful for, because it was
Mhm.
I spent 3 years there as a walk on. I got to meet a lot of incredible people. I had a lot of great teammates, great coaches, um, and I built a lot of memories there. We played in Big East. We played a lot of great teams, great programs. Speak of, we played UConn several times
Mhm.
throughout the year. We got the chance to play in the Big East tournament in Madison Square Garden. So, getting the chance to travel to across the country to, you got schools like Providence, St. John's,
Mhm.
which is in New York, New Jersey. Creighton is also a really good program. So,
Mhm.
my first 3 years at DePaul, kind of after that first year, I kind of knew what I was dealing with going into my sophomore year. Going into my
Mhm.
sophomore year, we lost a good portion of our team to the portal. We had a different coaching
Mhm.
staff, so we kind of had to revamp our team.
Mhm.
And I kind of, fortunately, I had a different role going in that year. My sophomore and junior year, I was more active in
Mhm.
practice, and with the team. The coaches kind of looked at the returners more to lean on, as far as the culture, building a new culture, and just the way things went at DePaul, kind of helping like the new guys
Mhm.
with that. And then those years too, I also got the chance to pretty much do everything that some guys like the starters were doing. I was running plays, scrimmaging every day, doing all the drills, which was something that I didn't get the chance to do my freshman year. So that was kind of a breath of fresh air, and was something that I was really happy with. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I'll always be grateful for DePaul, and looking back at those years.
Mhm. One last thing about DePaul. I mean, you mentioned Tyler Lamb, you mentioned Freddie a bit earlier, but also another Thai American that's been in the mix of the national team rosters, Moses Morgan, who I don't know if that's the other guy you contacted, but yeah, Moses Morgan. He also played at DePaul as well for 3 years. I don't know if that has ever come up yet, or at least it's something to connect with him once, whenever you get the time to, man.
Yeah, yeah. I think I had seen it somewhere. I think I had read it somewhere that I didn't know if what I was reading was real. I was like, wait, there's another Thai American that played at DePaul. I was like so surprised, but yeah, I actually haven't reached out to him yet, but hopefully
Hmm.
I'll get a chance to
Yeah.
meet him in Thailand. But yeah, that's really cool. So
All right. Okay. So wrapping up DePaul, you're transferring out, heading to Illinois. I mean, you coming as a Chicago native. I mean, that's got to be a pretty big deal, right? Just transferring. This is like
this would probably be, I'm not sure if I'm getting this right, but this is like the biggest program in
In Illinois,
Illinois.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. How big
yeah.
of a
Being
deal is it for you?
Yeah, no, I mean, it was honestly, most days I wake up and I still can't believe that I got the chance to play at DePaul and Illinois.
Mhm.
I know it sounds corny and cliche, but as a kid, I was just always, you're growing up in the city of Chicago playing basketball, and you look up at your TV, you're watching DePaul, Illinois, Loyola, all these different programs, and it's like
Mhm.
one day you'd hope to play there, but you don't know. Obviously, I didn't know if it was ever going to happen, but yeah, I'm very fortunate to get the chance to transfer to Illinois during my senior year.
Mhm.
It was something that I had kind of been thinking about for a few years because my the assistant that had recruited me to DePaul, Tim
Mhm.
Anderson, he with the change in coaching staff my sophomore year, he got the job at Illinois as an assistant my
Mhm.
sophomore year, and it's kind of something that we had discussed years leading up to my senior year.
Mhm.
And then once it finally happened, the end of my junior year, I had most of my closest friends and teammates on the team were either graduating or transferring, and I knew I only had so much more time left playing college basketball.
Mhm.
And going to Illinois was always something like kind of how DePaul felt at the beginning that didn't really feel possible, but
Mhm.
once I put my name in the portal, I started talking with TA Tim Anderson at Illinois, and then started the process of making my application, getting into university, and then from there, you know it's been a blessing. But yeah, also Illinois is just also a school that I would have loved to attend if I wasn't playing basketball. Like
Mhm.
my mom, my family, especially my mom, is obviously big on the academic side, and
Mhm.
always wants to make sure I'm making the most out of that side, not just focusing on basketball, obviously, but
Mhm.
she was really happy that I got accepted into the school, and that I would get the chance to graduate from there and get a degree, um, because Illinois was a school that I would always wanted to go to, whether or not I was playing basketball. So
Mhm. Just to be clear though, you've always done your part on the academic end, right? Because I think you were like what, all academic team for what, your first
yeah,
year?
yeah. First, well, my second and third year, and then as a freshman, I don't think they said as a freshman I don't think you're eligible for the academic team. But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I was definitely had to do my part on that side of things to help things out. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So going into Illinois, I mean, from what I read from the bio, I mean, you were part of the scout team as well. I think that's a concept that maybe Thai basketball fans or even Asia basketball fans aren't really familiar with. So could you go a bit into what it means to be a part of the scout team, what it exactly is, actually?
Yeah, so the scout team essentially mimics the style and the play calls of the opposing team that you're about to
Mm-hmm.
play. So once we're in our schedule and we're playing games every 3-4 days, what we'll
Mm-hmm.
do is we'll have the coaches will kind of assemble a scout team. It will be mostly the guys that aren't in the rotation and
Mm-hmm.
don't get the most reps. So what we'll do is we'll gather 2-3 days before the game, kind of assign which players which. So like
Mm-hmm.
if you got a guy on the bench that's a big man, he's going to be the opposing team's center or power forward. And same thing with point guards, shooting guards, kind of matching the player with the skill set.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, the coaches, watching film, and analyzing plays from prior games or even games from
Mm-hmm.
last year, will kind of recreate the plays and give them names, give them play
Mm-hmm.
calls. We'll go through probably 5, 6, 7 plays, and then there might be a focus on two or three of them that they run a lot. You'll do half court sets. You'll do out of bounds plays underneath the basket, sideline out of bounds.
Mhm.
And then on top of that, you'll mimic the defense. So what kind of
Mhm.
defenses they run, if they're in drop coverage for ball screens or if they're showing. And then if they run zone, just kind of looking at everything, doing our best to mimic
Mhm.
the other team to give, the starters, the guys in the rotation, the best look to kind of get them
Mhm.
ready for the games, just so that's not like, a shock when they get to the real game.
Yeah.
Obviously, to get ready for that. So yeah, the scout team it was kind of our job just to do the best to give them a good look to get ready for
Mhm.
those games.
Yeah. I know that probably the focus is more mimicking the game plans and the rotations and stuff, but was there any specific time where you had to mimic a specific player considering your skill set? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Was there anything like that?
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because DePaul and Illinois had a very, the scout team responsibility
Mhm.
was always wavering and changing. Back at DePaul, I was usually always the point guard or shooting guard.
Mhm.
Let's say the other team had a sharpshooter, I would be. I mean, it was honestly really fun being a part of scout team because most of the time they would just
Mhm.
tell you like, if you're the team's best player, you're gonna shoot every shot. And I would be out there coming out ball screens, shooting deep threes, maybe step backs. Like they wouldn't always be the best shot. I would probably get benched 9 times out of 10 if I were to shoot that shot in a real scrimmage. But that was
Mhm.
kind of the fun part for walk-ons playing in the scout team was yeah, you get to mimic the other team's best players. Um, so that was kind of my assignment back at DePaul. But funny thing is at Illinois, we had, I think we had 4 guards on our scout team.
Mhm.
So, there wasn't really anyone to like play big.
Mhm.
So, about half the time actually I had to either be the 4 or 5 man, which was pretty interesting going up against, our fours and fives, send screens, rolling to the paint, playing defense. But that's a part of, being a part of the scout team, just
Mhm.
doing whatever you can to help the other team. But yeah, there was um, definitely days where I was shooting a lot of shots for scout team. So
Cool. I mean, that one year, I mean, that year in Illinois, what would you say was like, let me give me like three top moments from playing in Illinois, man.
three, like just in general or like throughout the year, like
Just in general, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Well, first, definitely. Okay. Well, it's kind of hard to put in order, but
Yeah.
I definitely say winning the Big Ten championship. That was,
Mhm.
that was a feeling like I've never experienced, and then it was just amazing getting to experience that with my teammates, the coaches,
Yeah.
the rest of the fan base. It was something really special.
Mhm.
Um, that was that was kind of that this happened right before we went into March Madness, so that was something that
Mhm.
really gave us a lot of confidence and left us with a good feeling going in that first game. But yeah, getting the chance to win that Big Ten championship, whether or not you're a part of the scout team, you're on the
Mhm.
bench, you're on the floor, it's just something. You're a manager. It's something so special to be a part of and experience, and definitely something that I will always remember the rest of my life.
Mhm.
Two, I'd probably say when we won against Iowa State in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
This is in Boston,
Mhm.
right after we had beaten Duquesne and
Mhm.
forgetting the first team's name. This is right after we had beaten Duquesne, and yeah, so Sweet 16 in Boston. I think they were a 2 seed. We were a 3 seed, so it was
Mhm.
kind of talk. There were a lot of people talking before the game. But obviously we had
Yeah.
a lot of confidence going in, and obviously we knew we were the better team. But just playing, being a part of that environment, and just how surreal felt. You got
Mhm.
fans coming from everywhere supporting the Illinois fan base, having them all come together in Boston. Then you got everyone's families, all the players' families coming together. It was a really cool experience being in that environment, and then obviously winning that game and advancing to the Elite Eight. Um, you know, Speaking of, these are just things that I never even thought I'd be able to
Hmm.
experience as a kid. Just playing in March Madness, saying that I got the chance to even be on the floor during March Madness, or
Hmm.
winning a Big Ten championship. These are things that I never would have thought I would have been doing, but I'm very grateful and blessed to have that chance with the coaches gave me. But at three, I probably put it's a hard one. Three would probably be when I know this is not really a big deal, but when I had made two free throws during the Michigan. This is at home when we had played Michigan, and we were up by a lot. We were up by, I think it was like 30. And
Yeah.
then this is usually when the walk-ons get the chance to go in the game, but
Hmm.
I had gotten fouled, made two free throws. So that was a cool experience. So there's lots of memories from that year, but those I'd say probably those three.
For sure. No, I was actually gonna ask about that, the significance of that moment in the Michigan game, and I know that was a big moment for you. So yeah, happy to see that happen.
Thank you, thank you.
Um, so playing with Illinois, obviously a lot of top tier talents, but one that stands out, obviously Terrence Shannon. Can you say a bit about playing? I mean, not everyone gets to be able to play with an NBA level talent at once they're ascending to that level. Just speak a bit about how that was
Yeah,
experienced. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, he's special. Like he's one of the hardest workers I've seen, if not the hardest worker I've seen. And then on top of that, he's
Hmm.
obviously one of the best talents, that I've played with. And
Hmm.
just seeing his kind of competitiveness every day in practice, and how he's able to push his teammates get better, on top of his play, is just special. And then he's obviously doing great things now. He's doing great things in the NBA, and he's going to continue doing great things. But like you said, it's rare that you get the chance to play with someone of that caliber. So he was just able to elevate everyone in practice, and he's someone that leads by example, which I think is really important. As your team's best player, the captain of your team. He's someone that led by example every day with his work ethic. He was hours early to practice, getting shots up. He'd always be putting the extra work in, and he really pushed his teammates, all of us during practice, to get better, even if it wasn't you know um but he yeah, I mean, he's just a great teammate, great person. um Obviously there's a lot of good things I could say, but yeah, it's yeah, so.
Yeah. I'm a Timberwolves fan, so I'm happy to hear all that, and hopefully it pans
Oh,
out.
you're a Timberwolves fan?
Yeah, it's a
uh,
weird story, but whatever.
yeah.
Um. All right.
How do you feel
So
about
Illinois
cat
trans
what about a cat and Julius Randle?
man. Man, I mean, nothing on Julius Randle, but I think they had something last year, and they shouldn't have messed with it.
They did, yeah.
So it's not looking. I mean, I had more fun watching last year, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
um. So yeah, it's going back to going into Illinois a bit. You transferred when you transferred. You were still transferring as a walk on, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
Or did you
yeah,
transfer? Yeah.
I was transferring as a walk on. They had a spot.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to join the team as a walk on. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so eventually, from what I understand, is that you earned a scholarship throughout the season, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, how was it presented to you? Actually, I know like a lot of a lot of schools, they have like this big thing when they give out the scholarship to a walk on. How was it for you, man?
Yeah, so this was right after this is actually right after the Michigan game at home.
Mm-hmm.
It was a few days after we were getting ready to play Maryland on the road. It was during a film session.
Okay.
We had came into practice after our day off. Brad had pulled up film on Michigan, just going over stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he usually likes to give like, speeches and words of motivation, and then he started talking about, I can't remember what it was exactly, but he was talking about like, good qualities, working hard, being able to earn, you know, what you get through your work ethic. And then, some I can't remember exactly, but I was kind of thinking to myself like, where is he going with this? And then I remember he said my name, and what? I was because usually, Brad's not going to call me out, you know, individually, if we're going through film. And then he had kind of went on a bit, talked about how I joined the team as a senior. It was my last year. Spent, had put my time in, put my work in, and he had said that I had been given the last scholarship for the team, and that was it was I will never forget those words. And then my teammates started going crazy, and then they were like, hey, and then it was really exciting moment. It was a moment I'll never forget, and I was shocked. I was really happy, and it was amazing. It was amazing. And he had announced it, and that was that was the first time I had heard about it. And yeah, and then the reason, like you said about those videos, unfortunately, shortly after that, um, I had actually gotten really sick. I think I had COVID, and I had to
Okay.
miss a week of practice. So this was like a few days after it was announced, and then we went on the road to Maryland. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that was really exciting. So
Mm-hmm. So you had like no idea coming in that that was something that was about to happen, right?
I didn't know it was going to happen, but you know, um, it was kind of something that had been mentioned by some of
Mm-hmm.
my assistants leading up to that. I didn't know if they were kind of messing with me or if they were just kind of joking, but it was my senior year.
Mm-hmm.
I had originally planned to do a COVID
Mm-hmm.
year, and use my fifth year of eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it was something that I kind of heard about, but I didn't know if it was actually going to happen. So,
Mm-hmm. All right. Just so to wrap off your career at Illinois, any other fun stories that just one fun story that you might want to share to wrap things up, or yeah, do you have one?
um, I mean, there's a lot of funny stories, but actually, there's a lot of funny stories with Coach Brad, but I don't know if I can
Mm-hmm.
really say. Probably can't really say those. Fun stories. I mean, just getting, being a part of the team. Oh, I mean, when
Mm-hmm.
we went to Spain before the year had started, we had done one of those foreign trips,
Mm-hmm.
and we played three professional teams in Spain. We went to Barcelona, Valencia, and Madrid. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that was kind of this happened in August. So we went there. I think it was 12 days.
Mm-hmm.
So we started summer workouts. Then we did a 10-day practice thing where the NCAA allows you 10 days of practice before you go on your foreign trip.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was a really fun experience again because that was our first time kind of gelling with each other, and it was a good opportunity for everyone to get to know each other. You got a bunch of new faces.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a really fun time getting a chance to go to Spain, and then you know the walk. I got the chance to play a bit here and there in some of the games. So um, yeah, it was, we got the chance to go jet skiing. We were able to sightsee, you know, go see all the different venues they had. Got to
Mm,
see, I think it was a museum. I can't remember exactly, but a lot of fun stuff. That you're able to look back on and have as memories. So it was a fun time doing that.
mhm. All right. So I mean that brings us pretty much up to where we are right now. So I just want to ask you a bit to rank the top 5 players that you've been able to play against throughout these years, man.
Play against. So you mean like on? Okay, yeah, play against. Top five. That's tough. That's tough. Trying to remember back now to all the players that we have played. Man, this is. I'm thinking of a lot of good players. I'm trying to like assemble
You're
the
trying
top
to
five.
rank them up, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to rank in my head right now. Hold on, I should have thought about this before. Um, hmm. Well, some names I can think of right now, like just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I was back at DePaul, we played, Tristan Newton, who's at
Hmm.
UConn, who's in the league right now, Jordan
Hmm.
Hawkins. Trying to think of who else on some of those other Big East teams. You had. I'm just trying to remember like specific performances they had given us. Like, let's say
Okay.
someone gave us like 30. That's something that
Okay.
stood out to me. I
Okay.
remember Colin Gillespie. He played
Okay.
at Villanova, and
Yeah.
he had given us like 30. So he was efficient. Like I don't think he had a single turnover. And he how Villanova plays.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Villanova's like
their
that.
guards, they got their back to the basket. They're posting up. He
Yeah.
was just I was watching. I was like he's got game. But um Colin. And I remember Julian. It was a guy at St. John's. This
Hmm.
was during the Big East tournament. Actually, his name I think it was Julian
Hmm.
Julian
Ah.
Champagne.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what team he's at right now. I think he's in the G League NBA. He's kind of bouncing around. I think it might be the Spurs.
Yeah. He was with the Spurs. I don't know if he's still there, but I think
Can't
he's still with
remember.
the Spurs.
Yeah, I can't
He's
remember
doing well
exactly,
with the
but
Spurs. Yeah.
I'll probably put those two guys on the list. Um,
Okay.
then from this past year at Illinois. Oh, obviously, well, probably 𝘧𝘰𝘐 too, just because he's like
Yeah.
national 2-time national player of the year. I don't know why
Yeah.
I forgot about him. Um, Zach, trying to think who else was. I don't know why I'm blanking on this right now. I mean, you could throw in Braden Smith, the point guard at Purdue.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Obviously these guys are all really good players. And then I'll probably say Jordan Hawkins back at UConn
Yeah.
plays
Yeah.
for the
Jordan.
Pelicans.
Jordan's really good, man.
Yeah.
But no, don't worry about this. We can update this list whenever we talk again. No
Yeah, yeah,
worries. Yeah.
yeah.
uh I'm blanking too. I was gonna ask you something. Shit. No. Okay, these are guys that you've probably played in the collegiate scene. Have you had any like run-ins during pickups or something like that? Just random run-ins on like the on random courts that are like significant players that you're like, whoa, I didn't know that I was gonna play against this guy here and there.
Yeah. One that comes to mind back at DePaul, we would do these summer runs with, different
Mm-hmm.
schools in the Chicagoland area like Northwestern and Loyola. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
one time Patrick Williams pulled up on the
Okay.
Bulls. Yeah, and I remember like, the second play he had like dunked on somebody and I was just like, that's crazy. Like yeah, he was massive. I didn't think he was that tall. But yeah, probably that was random, that was one of the more random
Yeah.
encounters. He
Yeah.
just came and started playing with us. Someone else. Malcolm Hill that used to
Mm-hmm.
play at Illinois. He also jumped in one of those runs kind of unexpectedly too. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so and then aside from that, I haven't really been a part of just, those
Mm-hmm.
kind of pickup runs. If I'm playing pickup, I'm usually just playing at my rec center that's
Mm-hmm.
close to the Paul by where I live. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those are probably the more random encounters.
All right. All right. So moving on, looking a bit forward into the near and maybe longer future ahead. Thailand basketball. What is your impression so far of Thailand basketball from what you've watched and experienced?
Yeah, so it's a very competitive brand of basketball from what I've seen.
Hmm.
Very very high level. Everyone's very skilled. A lot of good shooters from what I've seen. It seems like everyone plays really hard. Um,
Hmm.
Obviously it's different, like comparing different styles of basketball after playing college and then going to Thailand. Watching that, I've
Hmm.
gotten the chance to watch some games in the Thai basketball league and then the
Hmm.
tournament that they have going on right now. Um, and it looks like they play really hard. It's a good brand of basketball. Everyone moves the ball very well, which I think is something that sometimes you don't see if
Hmm.
in something like the NBA. So you can definitely see the difference, and I think it's a really good style of basketball, and I think everyone they're really talented. So
Hmm. Just a quick pitch of what to expect to see from you on the court. Yeah, just what do you think you're gonna bring to the teams that you're gonna play for?
yeah, just to expect someone that plays really hard, someone that's really competitive, someone who's really passionate about the game, and someone who's going to do whatever it takes to help their team to win. Because obviously that's my main focus every time step on
Hmm.
the court. Whether that's making the extra play, the hustle play, diving on the floor, helping your teammates out, just being more communicative. And then obviously when it comes to the basketball side, just you know doing what I can to help the team. If it's scoring, playing defense, getting my teammates involved, rebounding, picking up full court, you know, um, things like that.
Hmm. I mean, we've mentioned their names a bit earlier. Tyler Lamfredi, Moses Morgan. These are Thai Americans who grew up in the States and are now representing their Thai heritage. Can you say a little bit about you yourself being another Thai heritage basketball player? How does it feel to have the opportunity to represent this side of your heritage on the court?
Yeah, I mean, it's really special being able to get the chance to go to Thailand and get the chance to play there and play for the country my mother was raised in. And it means a lot to me. It means a lot to her. It means a lot to my family. And I'm really grateful for the chance to continue to get to play beyond college. And I'm excited for the chance to get there and get to know my teammates, get to meet my coaches. Excited to get on the court and start playing. But yeah, being a Thai American, the other thing too is I haven't met a whole lot of Thai Americans, in my years of playing basketball.
Hmm.
Um, I've rarely gotten the chance to meet anyone that's Thai that also plays basketball that's in the U.S., especially in Chicago. So I think it's a really special opportunity to be able to represent my heritage, to go to Thailand, continue playing there, be with my mom's side of the family, and then doing whatever I can to help whichever team I'm on win.
Hmm. All right. Just before we wrap things up, I'm gonna warn you a bit. We're gonna go a bit deep here.
Okay.
um, how much, what, or how much does basketball mean to you, man? You've been playing this game for your whole life. What does this game mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, basketball has been, obviously a focal point of my life leading up to now. It's seems like everything kind of revolves around basketball one way or another. But yeah, basketball has been super important to me. It's a game that outside of everything that comes with it, at the end of the day, it's just fun to play. Just going to the gym, just getting shots up, shooting around is something that I don't think I'll ever stop feeling joy in. And then everything that it's brought, all the people that I've been able to meet, all my, my closest friends or teammates that I've had, or have had in the past or have gotten the chance to meet through basketball. I've met a lot of really important people in my life, coaches and whatnot, through the game of basketball. So it means a lot to me, and it's something that you know, these connections, these experiences, these memories are something that I'll be able to fortunately have the rest of my life, and something that I'll be able to look back on. But it's I'm so thankful for everything that basketball has brought me, and just excited for what's next in Thailand.
Hmm. And a little bit more about the grind of basketball. I mean, I know you're still early in your career, but even from getting on as a walk on to DePaul, you keeping that communication, the relationship with Tim Anderson, going on, getting a scholarship, and even here, coming from the States to Thailand, you just reaching out to players, figuring out a way to go. Can you just speak a bit about grinding, putting in the work, and making whatever you want to happen in your career, making it happen? Yeah.
Yeah. Something that I've kind of always experienced throughout my whole life was just kind of, obviously people talk about work ethic and working as hard as you can. And, obviously that's something I try and do each and every day. But it's also just kind of staying persistent and staying with it, and never having the mindset of, quitting, or, even if you don't see a way, just kind of keeping at it and staying persistent with that goal that you have. Because at the end of the day, if that doesn't work out, something else is going to come up that will be just good, if not better, for you at the end of the day. So I think, obviously everyone has a purpose, and um, I've created goals throughout my whole life. I've once I started playing basketball, I wanted to make varsity. Then once I was on varsity, then I wanted to make a certain team at IMG. Then I wanted to play D1. It was, you know, so I've kind of had to always had the mindset of just never, never giving up, and just always staying at it, staying consistent with what I do each and every day. And even outside of basketball, just like the communication aspect, just, because out of high school, I didn't think I was going to play, at DePaul or Illinois. I had to constantly be reaching out to people, like, send them my film, or like, introducing myself. A lot of people didn't respond, and I didn't know if I'd ever get the chance to do it. But I kind of just stayed with it. And then, from DePaul to Illinois, I was very fortunate for, the relationship I've developed with Coach Anderson. And then just keeping that line of contact. And then with Thailand, I didn't know if it was going to happen. I didn't, I felt like I had put too many hours in throughout the years,
Hmm.
um, playing and practicing, not to be able to at least showcase it for a little bit. So I, just kind of digging in online, and then find people to reach out to, like some of the Thailand players, just kind of having a vision, and then having a goal, and then kind of doing whatever I can to reach that stage. And even if I
Hmm.
don't, I know I'll find myself in something good. And
Hmm.
so yeah.
All right. Inspirational journey from you, Max Williams. Closing on here, can you just drop, for whoever wants to follow your journey, follow your career, where should they go to, man?
Where should they go? Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, if you want to continue your journey, I think first off, like I just said, you have to know what, you know, the end of that journey is, where you want to end up at. And then it's just kind of, for me, going back to high school or even college, it was just kind of an everyday thing. And I think the important thing was, like, even if you don't see the results, especially as a walk on, like, you know,
Hmm.
I'm I'm very blessed to be able to experience what I did in my 4 years of college. I never thought I was going to do that. But, you know, when you play basketball, obviously you wish that, you got the chance to play a bit. And, that's that's the different side that comes with being a walk on. So, there were days where, I was in the gym every day during the summer. I remember my freshman year at DePaul, I'm thinking with the new coaching staff, like, maybe I can get a chance, like I can
Hmm.
earn some playing time. But, you know, even if you don't see the results with the work that you put in every day, it's important to, not give up and just keep going, staying persistent. Even though I was, practicing, working out, working on my skills, during the summer every day for 3 years, and I didn't really get the chance to play a whole lot in college, I was able to find myself, with the chance to play in Thailand. And that's something
Hmm.
that will kind of carry over. And I'm really glad I get the chance to do that. So that's just kind of something I would tell other
Hmm.
people, or other people that want to play basketball. Like, even if you don't end up where you may want to end up, something good is going to come out of the work
Hmm.
that you put in. And it's not just about working hard. You got to know what you're doing. You got to adapt. You got to adjust. So, everyone has different circumstances, and it's just about, adjusting to those situations and then going from there. But it's the main thing I just say is just, be consistent and never lose sight of that vision.
All right. Just wrapping up. Any shout outs you have? Drop your Instagram account here so people will know where to see where you progress further on in your career, or any other platforms you want to share for yourself. But yeah, platforms, Instagram, shout outs, let it rip, man.
Yeah. My Instagram is Max S Williams. My Twitter is Max Williams _8. Um, yeah, that's about the only social media platforms I use. But yeah, I really appreciate getting the chance to talk to you and meet you, and I'll meet you in person in a few weeks here. But thank you for having me, and really appreciate your time.
Mhm. Actually, one thing I forgot, just one quick thing. Your
Yes.
jersey numbers: DePaul number 30, and then Illinois 25. What's the story behind those jersey numbers, man?
Yeah. So at DePaul, actually, I when they told me I was going to be a walk on, they actually just gave me the number 30. So
Okay.
they just gave me the number 30, and I was fine with it. I mean, 30, you got Steph Curry, I got 30 on the back of my jersey. I'm shooting threes. Like, I'm a point guard, shooting guard that shoots a lot of threes. I didn't have a problem with it. I
Yeah.
I love Steph Curry. He's a great player. But yeah. So I wore 30 for 3 years, and then when I went to Illinois, they actually asked me
Mhm.
what I wanted to be as my number on my jersey. I was like, oh my god,
Okay.
like, I get to choose my jersey. This is amazing. So they gave me options, and I growing up, obviously my favorite player is Derrick Rose, and
Hmm.
he had worn 25 in high school at Simeon. He had worn 25 with
Hmm.
the Knicks. Timberwolves obviously it was inspired from late Benji Wilson in Chicago, uh,
Hmm.
a basketball icon. So I decided to go with 25 just because Derrick Rose has always been my favorite player. So yeah,
So I assume you're gonna be keeping on to that with
yeah,
Thailand.
yeah, yeah. They actually told me I'm wearing a 25 with
Yeah.
Jula. So yeah,
Yeah, there's not a lot of, I don't think there's a lot of competition for that at the moment, but
yeah,
maybe you'll inspire somewhere in the
yeah.
future.
We'll
All
see.
right. So yeah, I think I've taken up an hour of your time, so that's a lot already. But thank you very much for taking the time to talk, man. I know it's probably a bit late already, but
Yes, sir.
yeah, thanks for your time. We'll catch up in a week or so. Looking forward to it, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you very much. I think I think your journey is pretty cool.
Thank
Just
you.
you mean reaching out, keeping persistent, as you mentioned. I think that's something that's really important for
Yeah,
the next generation to know, man.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Of course.
Okay. Wait, I was gonna ask something. So, but oh yeah, I know what I was gonna ask. Do you think was that a good podcast? I'd never done a podcast before, so
No. All good, man. I think it's. I mean, to be honest, I'm not like a professional podcaster anyway,
yeah,
so it's not a high standard for me. But
yeah,
that no, I think that went. I think that went really well. I mean, because you have a good story. It's a good journey to begin with. So I think I don't have to do that much to take things out of what you were trying to tell.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, all good. And yeah, I think just looking forward to talk a bit more as your career goes.
Wait, so you're in
Yeah.
Bangkok right now?
Yeah, I'm in Bangkok right now.
Oh, okay. So do you like go to the tournament and watch it every day, or
I'm
wherever?
not whenever I can. I mean, I try to go there. It's a bit far from where I'm at,
Yeah.
but yeah, I go when I can.